Good morning, Yanais. I hope you're all doing well. The topic for this video is negative indices. So please take out your books, copy down the title, date, and have a go at these starter questions. So multiplying indices, starter number one. Remember, just a quick example, when we're multiplying powers and if the bases are the same. So for this example here, a to the power of 3 times a to the power of 4. To simplify this in index form, you're going to add the powers. Okay, when you multiply, you add the powers. So a to the power of 3 plus 4 gives me a to the power of 7. Okay, very simple example. Have a go at these questions for me. So pause the video and press play when you're ready to carry on. Okay, these are the answers. Well, you're just going to add the powers. 3 to the power 5 times 3 to the power 2 is 3 to the power 7. This is going to be 9 to the power 7. This one here, be careful. 7 to the power 3 times 7. Well, if you see a number 7 by itself, what does it have a power of? It has a power of 1, okay? So it'll be 7 to the power of 3 plus 1, okay? And that will be 7 to the power of 4. So anytime you see a number by itself without a power, make a note of it. Just put it has an imaginary power of 1. So just put a 1 next to it, okay? At the top of that number. Okay, 8 to the power 5 times 8 to the power 6. Add the powers, that's 8 to the power of 11. 8 to the power of 0 plus 8 to the power of 6, or 0 plus 6 is just going to be 8 to the power of 6, of course. This is just going to be 3 to the power of 3. And 8 to the power of 0 times 8 to the power of 0. Well, what is 0 plus 0? It's just going to be 8 to the power of 0. And remember, anything to the power of 0 would be 1. Make a note of that. Anything to the power of 0 would be 1. Okay? Just a quick recap. What does 4 to the power of 2 mean? 4 to the power of 2 actually means 4 squared, which is 4 times 4. And the answer of that's going to be 16. You guys know this, okay? This is just a quick recap. What does 4 to the power of 5 mean then? Well, if 4 squared means 4 times 4, well, 4 to the power of 5 would mean 4 times 4 times 4 times 4 times 4. Okay? What about this one? How can we write this in index form? It would just be you're multiplying 5 by itself 4 times, so that would be 5 to the power of 4. Okay, and that's how you write it in index form. Okay? So please pause the video, copy down these questions, and write these down in index form for me, please. Okay, I'm multiplying the first one 8 times 8 times 8 times 8. So I'm multiplying 8 by itself 4 times. So that'll be 8 to the power of 4. 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. 3 to the power, I'm multiplying 3 by itself 6 times. That's going to be 3 to the power of 6 in index form. And 9 times 9 times 9 is 9 to the power of 3 in index form. Okay, right, I'm going to test you now, okay? Think about this. 5 to the power of 6 times 6 to the power of 5 is equal to 30 to the power of 11. Or 5 to the power of 6 times 5 to the power of 5 is equal to 5 to the power of 30. Which one is it? Please pause the video and work it out. Okay, I'm going to tell you which one it is now. Okay, is it number 1 or number 2? Are you ready? It's none of them. If you thought it was one of them, you flopped massively, okay? It's none of them. Why? Because what do we do? So the second one, okay, 5 to the power of 6 times 5 to the power of 5. Well, what do we do? If the bases are the same, we can add the powers. So it would be 5 to the power of 11 for the bottom one, okay? And the top one, well, the bases are not the same, so I can't really add the powers together, okay? Because the bases are not the same for the first one. And the second one, they didn't add the powers correctly, okay? They multiplied them. So this is just a misconception. Please do not make this mistake when you're answering questions. Okay, dividing indices now. This is start number 2. So this is just a quick recap. Remember when we're dividing powers, if the bases are the same, so in this example here, we have 2 to the power of 5 divided by 2 to the power of 3. The base is that number 2. If it stays the same, then what we do is, I apologize, that should be 2. Please don't look at the answers. Okay, so, well, it becomes 2 to the power of 5 minus 3, and that becomes 2 to the power of 2, okay? I hope you didn't look at the answers or cheat here. Please copy down these questions and pause the video and have a go. Press play when you're ready to carry on. Okay, let's just quickly go through this. The first one's going to be 2 to the power of 1 because 3 minus 2 is 1. Well, 2 to the power of 1, and a good way to write 2 to the power of 1 is just 2. And these are the rest of the answers. Remember question 4, 5 minus 6 is not 6 minus 5, it's 5 minus 6, so it's 8 to the power of minus 1. And then this is going to be 8 to the power of 5, b to the power of 0, because 0 minus 0 is just 0. And anything to the power of 0, what did we say? Anything to the power of 0 is 1. And then this one here will be 2b. Okay, if you got that, that's brilliant. All right, moving on. All right, the zero power, we have already looked at this at both starters. This example here, f to the power of 2 divided by f to the power of 2 becomes f to the power of 0, and that gives me 1. The reason why you get 1 is because if you divide anything by itself, you get 1 in the first place, okay? So in the example, f to the power of 2 divided by f to the power of 2, well, in index form, you subtract the powers, okay, from each other, and 2 minus 2 is 0, okay? But the reason why it gives you 1, because if you look at the question initially, f to the power of 2 divided by f to the power of 2, well, if you divide anything by itself, you always get 1. A million divided by a million is 1. 7,000 divided by 7,000 into 1. 9,999,999 divided by 9,999,999 is 1. Okay? So this is just a little proof of why anything to the power of 0 is 1. Okay? This is just to help you understand. So copy down this rule here. Anything to the power of 0 would always be 1. And this is just to show you why anything to the power of 0 is 1. Okay, quick indices, just a quick recap. Anytime you've got a bracket like this, 2 to the power of 3 to the power of 2, you're going to multiply the brackets together, okay? So this means 2 to the power of 3 times 2 to the power of 3, which is 2 to the power of 6. But another way to write this is just, I recommend you just multiply them together, okay? So just multiply them together. Instead of doing it like this, 3 to the power of 5 to the power of 3, just do 5 times 3 and that'll give you 15. Okay, so copy down this example and then copy down these questions, have a go, pause the video, okay, and press play when you're ready to carry on. Okay, I'm going to give the answers now. I don't know why I started from there, but these are the answers anyways. So question 1a, just do 3 times 2 is 6, so that'll be 2 to the power of 6. 1b, just do 5 times 2, which is 10, that'll be 3 to the power of 10. So anytime you got a power to a power, and between them a bracket, just multiply the powers together, okay? All right, and remember, question 3, all of them have 1. Why is the answer all of them 1? Because the first one, 3a, 0 times 2 is 0. So that becomes 5 to the power of 0. Question 3b, 0 times 3 is 0. So a to the power of 0 is 1. Question 3c, 3 times 0 is 0. So anything to the power of 0 is 1. And question 3d, 2 times 0 is 0. And anything to the power of 0 is also 1. So negative index laws. This is our actually lesson today. So all the things that we've done before, just a quick recap. The multiplying powers and dividing powers, and also powers in a bracket where you need to multiply them together. This one here, a to the power of 5. We actually looked at this example already, okay, in our second starter. A to the power of 5 divided by a to the power of 6. Well, our bases are the same. The base is the a. So what do we do to the powers when we're dividing them? Well, we're going to subtract them. Remember, 5 minus 6 is minus 1, okay? 5 minus 6 is minus 1. But this is the key part. Remember, please pay attention. A to the power of negative 1 is just 1 over a. I'll repeat that again. You need to memorize this, okay? A to the power of minus 1, we don't write it like this in mathematics. We write it like this instead, 1 over a. Does that make sense? So the rule is a to the power of minus a number is just 1 over a to the power of n. So for example, if I had a to the power of minus 2, well, it would be 1 over a squared. Does that make sense? A to the power of minus 3 will just be 1 over a cubed. Okay, so let's just look at a few examples. This one here, 5 to the power of minus 2 would just be 1 over 5 squared. Does that make sense? So that negative in the power just puts it as a fraction. Okay, to get rid of that power, we don't Remember, negatives, we don't like that. So to get rid of that negative power, okay, we just put it as a fraction and we just write 1 over 5 squared. So what we do is just do 1 over this and remove the minus sign. That's all you have to do. And you guys know what 5 squared is. What is 5 squared? 5 squared means 5 times 5, right? And what is 5 times 5 then? 25. So that would be 1 over 25. And that's my final answer. I finished it. That's it. Okay? Look at another example. You know what I want you to do is have a go at the first two quickly, and we'll go through question 3 and 4. So pause the video quickly. Okay, question 1, 8 to the power of minus 1. All right, what did we say? It just becomes 1 over 8. All right, 10 to the power of minus 1. It just becomes 1 over 10. Does that make sense? Question 3 and 4, please pay attention. If you got anything to the power of minus a half, please be careful, pay attention, please. Yeah, this bit is a bit tricky. It's just 1 over the square root of 25. So just memorize this, remember this. Anything to the power of minus a half is 1 over square root of that number. So this will be 1 over square root 5, which is square root 25, sorry, which is 1 over 5. Remember the square root of 25 is 5 because 5 squared is 25. This one here also I need you to remember is anything to the power of minus 1 over 3 is just 1 over the cube root of 8. Again, copy down these examples, okay? And remember, the cube root of 8 is 2 because 2 cubed is 8. Remember, 2 cubed means 2 times 2 times 2. 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 again is 8, okay? So question 3 and 4 is a little bit more tricky, but you just need to memorize that. Anything to the power of minus a half is 1 over square root that number. And question 4, the rule is anything to the power of minus a third is 1 over cube root of that number. Okay? So this is very good actually. These are sort of hard GCSE questions, but if you can manage this, then I'll be really impressed. That will be very good. What I would like you to do now is pause the video and have a go at these questions. So start with the red ones, then the yellow ones, and then move on to the green ones. So pause the video and press play when you're ready to carry on. Okay, these are the answers. Okay, if you can mark them for me, please. These are the answers. All right. What I'd like you to do now is go on to MathsWatch and do the MathsWatch task. And then afterwards, once you've done that, I would like you to go and do the worksheet that is attached on Microsoft Teams. Thank you so much for listening. Have a great day.